Welcome
Hi
to Friday Life.
everyone, welcome to Friday Live. Sorry about the delay today. Life happens.
So life is always unexpected. Today, May 17th, 2024, we are still in this whole season of weddings and
Wedding,
graduations.
graduation, wrapping up the school year.
I know we talked about some of that, but so today I think it came to a realization that, if my parents had given me a package of a trust planning, estate planning for my wedding present, that would have been wonderful. And so actually today, what we wanted to do is actually illustrate what happens with the trust if you actually had done it like at that moment, say for a wedding present, if it was given to you as a wedding present, what would have happened with you and this plan all throughout your life.
Yeah, so we hear a lot about when should you start a trust. I mean, our questions always sooner than later, right? As soon as you're an adult. But we want to see one of the big point of is all the life events, and one of the big event is getting married. I think it's starting a new life together, and we think that's a great starting point to create this life, create the story together. It's not just your love story, but your merging of two lives that we talked about. So it's kind of like part two of what we talked about during the wedding season one. So here's my little, we're gonna walk through the little board here. Here's Harry and Wendy. They met and fell in love right here.
So Harry and Wendy, imagine them getting married. Okay, so supposedly nowadays people get married usually a little later, or when they've established their own career, or at least have something of their own. Okay. So then imagine Harry has some of his own bank account and an asset of some sort.
Okay. What, you want to give him a house or no house yet?
Sure, we'll put the house.
Okay, Harry has his own house under his own name.
Okay, and Wendy is the girlfriend, the fiance. So Wendy has her own small businesses.
Okay, let's say Harry has like what? No, he has more than 100K. Let's see how much. How much do you want to give him?
Anything's good.
Okay, just 100K. Sorry, for the sake of this.
Okay, and Wendy would have a small business of about the same thing.
Yeah, maybe she sells Etsy.
Okay, Etsy store. That's Etsy good. Store. That's a good start.
Okay, I'm doing upside down writing, so the S might be off, I think.
It is, but it's okay.
Okay, it's okay. It's for random reasons. Anyways.
So, all right. So now each of them has their own thing. But when they come together, they want to build their life together. We're going to suggest that, they have a framework all together and have that this framework.
Okay? The first step is the joint trust. They'll get together and they'll have a
give
joint
them an umbrella.
Trust. Joint trust will box everything together. Sorry. I should have boxed them too. So here will be the trust.
Right. So now we've set up a trust. Oh, it's the S, huh?
I know the S. I can't see it. Sorry.
Okay. So now we have a trust with a big umbrella. All right. Now this umbrella covers both Harry and Wendy stuff. Yeah. With a common trust construction,
you're able to divide into actually 3 parts.
So then Harry can maintain his own assets in this trust, and Wendy can keep the Etsy business within her own portion of the trust. And now, what is that third portion?
The joint pot.
Everything that they're adding together. So everything that they're growing together during their marriage will go into that third pot. Okay, so then now they've started this framework. With this trust, you can grow as big or as little as you want. So imagine that they together establish their primary residence.
Got another house.
They get another house.
I have a door.
And with Harry's income and Wendy's talent, they want to start another business. So they get a joint business together.
An LLC here.
Okay, good setup. And is it time for them to have the next generation?
So this is what they have in their trust. 3 pots. So that's the first stage together as joint grantors during also joint trustees and joint beneficiaries. Everything is for Harry and Wendy. Okay.
Okay.
Now it's for the next generation.
Now, at this point, though, the separate property is really clearly separate property because it is
They
like
set it
divided.
out. That's how
it
they
is
want
set
it.
off.
They're not putting it together.
Okay, so that was initially. I think we talked about a little earlier. This could be like a postnuptial agreement.
So okay,
type
I'm gonna
of
close
function.
this off. This will be the initial
Mhm.
setup. Okay.
So each
Stage 1.
Harry and Wendy knows very clearly which ones are separate property and which one are their community property. Okay, and then
Stage 2.
stage
happens?
2, what happens when one of them they grow up, they have kids, and something happened to which one? Will make
So-
something happen.
So there's Harry. Oh no. Oh, someone passes away, right? So the first stage is both alive and well. Second stage, someone either becomes incapacitated or passes away. So we'll leave Wendy and the kids,
Okay.
the
Right.
2 little ones.
So when one passes away, in this case is Harry. So what happens to Harry's portion of the trust? It becomes locked up as a irrevocable. So he would have this 100K house locked down into his irrevocable portion of it, so nobody can change it anymore. That
Should I
portion,
identify that? Should I just exit out or no?
no, I think direct transfer over.
Okay. It'd be irrevocable. Oh. Irrevocable trust. Oh no, irrevocable portion for Harry.
It is a trust though, still. It's
Yeah.
still in there. Okay.
For
And what's
Harry.
going to happen to Wendy's? Wendy's is still fluid because she's still well and alive. Okay, so her business is still there, doing well on its own, and Wendy can still operate or can buy and sell or do changes to it. And Wendy can change all the instruction in the trust to see how she wants to pass that on. Okay.
Her Etsy's still here.
Mhm.
And then how
Now-
about the house and LLC, the joint?
The joint portion. Now, Wendy gets to see if she wanted to separate any part into Harry's pot first. Okay, now that's usually worked on with the CPA to see how you want to take the deduction. Okay, so Wendy can actually split it 50-50, or she can put it all to Harry's portion, or she can retain all the portion. So, LLC, in this case, where do you want it to go?
Let's see, the LLC has grown a lot. Appreciate it.
Okay, if that's so, then I would probably put more into Harry's portion. So we'll take up the estate tax exemption first. Yeah.
Okay, so estate tax exemption right now it's 14 million or 13.9 million per person. So we
Okay.
want to use that as much as we can.
Okay, so we put more into Harry's irrevocable trust and file a state tax on it. So then we can use up more of the exemption. No tax need to be paid. Okay, now the rest, out of this entire picture, Wendy still manages everything,
Mm-hmm.
right? So even though this is locked up,
They're
it's
still
ready
living in
for
the house
Mhm.
here.
all this is ready for distribution, but Wendy still manages as the manager. She is the main beneficiary. She
Oh,
gets to
so
use
cute.
she gets to use everything because she is the primary beneficiary, and their kids are also the beneficiaries. So Wendy can use that fund to take care of their children. Okay. Meanwhile, she has all these still fluid and on her disposal. Okay. Then
And
Fine.
even the irrevocable, they pay all taxes. She could still enjoy it. She could still manage this Harry's house. Let's say if they rent it out or sell it, she could still do all of that.
Okay. So and then I think until the last portion,
So the third stage of your trust life cycle is when Wendy also passes away. There's the 2 kids. Are they grown now?
No, they're still minor.
They're still minors. Okay,
Okay.
so 2 minor kids. Okay.
No,
what
everything
happened
else
then?
is locked up. Okay, so the entire trust, because now Harry and Wendy, they're both passed away. All the trust assets under all three portions are now locked up. So now it becomes your irrevocable trust
So
for the
whole thing.
benefit, everything.
And the trust becomes an administrative trust, meaning all the planning that Harry and Wendy have implemented is going to be put in place. What to do with their house, what to do with all their assets, and what to do with their kids.
So all the instruction be carried out. Okay, all for the benefit of the two minor children. So whoever that is the trustee, they named a good friend of theirs as a trustee. The trustee would then manage the entire trust for the benefit of these two minor children. So these two minor children will have enough funds to for their living expenses, their education expenses, until whenever Harry and Wendy has set up for them to actually inherit the funds.
Yeah, whatever they decide in the trust, they want to use how they want to use the money towards a kid's education or buying a house or whatever. The trustee will then follow all those instructions and, arrange for those funds to be given to the kids to take care of them, manage the house, or if they rent it out, manage the LLC if they still have it, assuming they don't want to just sell it upon death. Whatever they want to do, this trustee is going to carry out those wishes. And then someone they named as a guardian would be taking care of these two minors right here. So
it could be this trustee or somebody else who is more suitable to take care of them as their legal guardian. Now the trustee would be their legal guardian of their estate to take care of their money.
But you could have someone to take care of the kids' welfare as their guardian until they're of age.
Why I thought it was like a wonderful idea if I was given this package when during my at my wedding, because then from beginning through every stage I would have this central hub where everything is there, everything is transparent within the family, and with proper instructions at every stage to know when things are to happen.
Yeah, and these pots could grow also during this stage, right? As it be during this stage, any stage, the pot could continue to grow. So whatever you accumulate, they bought more houses, it will go in there. They could put it in any of which pot they want as well throughout their lifetime. So everything will just flow into that plan. They continue to write that plan together, continue to draft your family's life story, your family's legacy, right?
Right.
They're co-authors of this whole story, and you know exactly what's going on, and there's communications, every step of the way. What would happen if one of us is not here? What would happen when we're both not here?
Right. So the earlier you set up, basically, when at this first stage, we're hoping that if you set up early, right, as you get married, you have all throughout your lifetime when both spouses are still here to to continue to draft that game plan, and then when the first passes away, you don't have to go through court first of all. And then you can continue, the surviving spouse can continue managing and continue to revise all these different things that needs to happen. And then to the very end, you still avoid probate. You don't have to go to court. And
your family keeps all the money at home.
You can retain
whatever you want
to pass on to your next generation. So, so I thought, sharing this is... I think hopefully it.
So this is kind of like a life cycle of a trust, sort of, and then also that we wanted to match up with their life cycle. But of course, you could start your trust even earlier. Like we said, it would be a good graduation present for your kids if you start their trust then or start their plannings then, and then that will continue to grow for them.
And then if you do start that early, and then when you get married, you can be incorporated into that bigger umbrella, or you can maintain it on the side. Either way.
So it could either go into here as their separate property if Perry had his own personal trust here, or it could stay outside as its own thing.
It would serve at the same purpose. So hopefully this gives you a little better idea, a clearer idea of how a trust can work for you from early on all the way to the end, instead of just thinking of it at the very end stage where you want to pass things on. It can it's
not about these two kids really, but it's about all of these process together, your whole life together.
So to-do
list. Think about your story. what's your legacy? What would you want to happen at each of the stages in your life? And that would be a great first step to start your planning and writing your own family's history, story, and legacy.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
As always, thank you, and
See you next week.
live and plan your legacy.